women's ministry committed to 21st century mentoring, impartation, yoke destroying, and healing of hearts, bringing complete restoration and transformation in the lives of women from every nation, tongue, tribe, race, and culture. Welcome to Wisdom for Women International with your hostess, Pastor Marjorie Esomowei.
Welcome to Wisdom for Women. It's a pleasure to reach out to you and to come into your home. The Lord is good. The weather is beautiful out there, and I'm so grateful to the Lord that I have this opportunity to speak to God's people. I don't take it lightly. Welcome again to Wisdom for Women. And if this is your first time, my name is Pastor Marjorie Esomowei. I'm co-pastor at Triumphant Church International, and I run the Wisdom for Women International by God's grace. You know the rules. You never watch Wisdom for Women alone. So please do me a favor. Call somebody and let them know it's time for Wisdom for Women. We're here to bless the 21st century Christian woman and, of course, the 21st century Christian man, because I know that the men also are watching. And I can tell you, you will be blessed today. I've got a guest with me, and, speaking to her outside of the camera, listening to her story, I just said to her, you are a trophy of God's grace. Please call up another woman. If you know a woman, a man that you think is down there, and they are thinking they will never rise again, this story will show them that God specializes in making broken lives come alive again. And it doesn't stop there. He uses the broken lives. Please join me as we welcome G. Patchett. God bless you, G. It's so wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Wisdom for Women. You are a trophy of God's grace. And I'm so happy that you're on Wisdom for Women. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is G?
Who's G? Oh my gosh. I love God.
You love God?
I'm married.
You're married?
My third marriage, actually.
Your third marriage?
Third marriage. And I know within the church, sometimes with people like, yeah, my third marriage, I'm pleased to say. Yeah, I've got 4 children.
4 children.
And 14 grandchildren.
How many?
14.
Someone said recently she's not a grandma, she's a glam-ma. So looking at you, glam-ma is glamour-ma. So you're not a grandma, you're a glam-ma. God bless you. And God bless your family as well. We want to talk about a subject that is almost a taboo within the church and within our community. People don't talk about it. But you are an example of the fact that God can bring anyone out of any situation. You did mention that you are in your 3rd marriage. Tell us a bit about, just briefly, how come you are in a 3rd marriage?
I got married the first time when I was 16, a week after my 16th
You were a
birthday.
baby, you were a child
a week
at
after
16.
Exactly a week after my 16th birthday. And it was because, of course, that was a way of leaving home.
That was your way of leaving home?
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom and dad wasn't married. But, a lot of, like in the West Indies, a lot of people, they have children out of wedlock and so on. And so living in different culture, and not with my mom, nor with my dad, and then with my dad and so on. They were, with their partners, there were things that weren't right. So my way of getting out of the whole situation, to be honest, was to get married.
Get married.
Yeah. So that was the reason, because people, of course, wonder, well, why would you get married at 16?
At 16, you were a child, a baby.
An absolute child, honestly, because I think up until that time, I'd only ever read fairy tale books. So I thought when you got married, and you have children, everything's going to be fine.
It's
as long
perfect.
as you're good,
as long as
you're
you're
a
married.
good wife, yes, you're gonna have children. And I thought if my mom and dad was married, then my life would have been different. So therefore, I'm not gonna have children out of wedlock. I'm gonna get married.
Just going to get
I'm
married.
gonna
So you
be a
did
good
it
wife.
really with good intentions.
Yeah, I'm going
did.
to be a good wife, beautiful home, keep everything nice, and everything's going to be fine.
And what happened in that marriage?
Oh my God, it was very, very abusive. I mean, I really learned about abuse.
Abuse.
I really learned about abuse.
Do you want to just briefly tell us about?
Do you want to know some stuff?
Just a bit of it.
Gosh.
Whatever you're comfortable with telling us.
Well, you know, it's all out there. It doesn't matter really. I suffered a lot of emotional
abuse,
physical, sexual
abuse, financial.
It was awful. I mean, by the time I had my daughter at 9, she was born 9 months and 2 weeks after my marriage. And I knew that day when I sat on the bed in the hospital that I actually hated my husband.
You knew you hated him.
Really.
Can I just ask a question? If you're not comfortable,
okay.
Please don't answer. Can a woman who is married to a man suffer sexual abuse?
Absolutely.
Please, do you mind
I
explaining?
don't mind.
Because
Absolutely.
people are watching and they are listening, and we're all about enlightening.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes maybe it's too horrible to talk on television, to be honest, but yes, you can. I mean, I'll give you some of the examples of, like I say, we split up after I had a second child, and my husband used to come back, and I didn't used to keep friends, so I was still a child. I never kept friends, and he used to come back, and he used to kind of force his way in my house, back in my place, and I've had knife held in my neck while I've been raped. I've had my clothes cut off me. I've had him. I've run out of my house naked.
You ran out of the house naked?
Yeah. I was so ashamed to talk about what I just said. I was so ashamed to even talk about that for years. I couldn't bring myself to admit to anybody that I was in such a
situation.
Yeah.
So you had 2 children within that situation. What made you decide, gee, I can't take it anymore when someone has to put a knife on my throat? I can't take it anymore when someone has to beat me as if I'm I
was his property.
Yeah,
I was his wife.
As if I'm an animal.
I was his wife because back in those days, the fact, say for example, when he left and he would come back, if I call the police, it's my husband.
The police in those days, it wasn't an issue.
It's my husband. And so he could do whatever he wanted to me. I was his property. I had no protection from anybody.
So at what point did you decide enough is enough?
After my second child was born, because I got pregnant with my second child 6 months after my first one. And so by the time she was born, I knew that I just thought, no, I can do this on my own. I can bring my children up. But it didn't stop there, because when he left, he continued with his violence.
To come back, because you left that door open.
Yes. So we forced his way back in. And the funny thing is how it stopped. So he'd come into my place and he'd keep me hostage all night. I'd be held hostage all night. And I remember one morning, I just remember something Mom had said. And I thought, nah. So I got up and I said to him, can I go to the bathroom? I had to ask permission to go to the toilet.
You had to ask his permission to go to the toilet?
Yeah.
In your own house?
Yeah. And so I got up and I went downstairs and I got a pot and I filled it with water and I put it on the cook and I turned it on. Because I wasn't just take it upstairs and just put it all over him. I was.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I did, honestly. I went down and just did it, and then I went upstairs and I went to the toilet, and I wasn't allowed to close the toilet door. So I used the toilet, and while I was in the toilet, he got up and he walked past the toilet. He looked at me and he went downstairs and he saw the pot. And obviously it's getting hot. So I don't think he was too stupid. He knew what the pot was for.
He knew?
Of course he knew. Well, why would I get up, go down, put a pot in, and just left it boiling?
Wow.
He never touched me from that day. I never had any problem from that.
So
that was how it stopped. That was how it stopped.
Wow. He knew that you had potentials to
I wasn't doing it.
Respond the way he was responding.
I wasn't doing it. There's no two way about it. I wasn't doing it.
Wow.
I was just wait for that pot to boil and then just put it over him.
Just pour it all over him.
Yeah.
Thank God you didn't. Otherwise, maybe your story would have been different.
It would have been different.
It would have been different. The hand of God shielded you from evil, because we don't pay back evil with evil. And then you left that relationship as still a baby. How old were you? Still maybe like 18, 20?
By then I was about 19. About 19,
still a child.
Yes.
And then you went into a second marriage, and then the same thing happened. I've heard people say that, certain people attract certain kind of people. Was there something you were doing that was attracting?
Yeah, I think
this kind of,
because
I don't want to see you as a victim.
No.
Or like you caused it. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But a lot of people have said, well, when you do certain kind of things, you attract certain kind of people. Do you believe that?
No, you know what it is? It's about your perception of yourself.
Yes.
It's how you see yourself. Because to me, I had 2 children. Well, I was no good.
So you felt
I was soiled.
Good
I was
enough.
soiled.
So
I was soiled.
Anyone,
do you know
if
what I mean?
anyone talked
I was
to me,
soiled.
they were doing me a favor.
No, not in that sense. In the sense of I had 2 children, so I wasn't.
You felt you weren't good enough, like the one that
I couldn't just go and get any husband I want, because I've got my 2 children, and my 2 children had to be my priority. So when I was, say my second husband, for example, he was absolutely amazing with my children.
Can I just take a break, Sister G, and speak to somebody? Listen, woman, if you're watching, I know some of you will be watching. You are a single parent. Things do happen to people. Sometimes bad things happens to good people.
Yes.
I know a lot of good people that have had bad things happen to them. And whatever your situation, I want to encourage you and let you know that you can rise up again. And you deserve a good man.
Yes.
If you had 2 children out of wedlock, don't feel like G felt like, okay, I can just be, I can be sold at any price, go to anybody. No, you're a virtuous woman, and your price is far above rubies. So it's a question of self-worth.
It is.
And so you now entered the same one and maybe began to feel, okay, he's doing me a favor by marrying me.
No, not really. No, not really. Because I didn't even realize, because he was very good to me at first.
Oh.
He was very good to me at first. Because, I mean, even though it was only later in life I realized it was because I didn't value myself the way I should have done. Why I didn't think I could go and get the husband I deserved. And I didn't even know what I deserved, to be honest, because I had 2 children. That was it. And I think that's the thing about marriage. It's one thing being in an abusive marriage, but once children are involved, it changes everything. Well, it did for me, because my children are my first priority. And I don't want to see my children being abused or, so what you're looking for in your husband is not the same thing. So I was looking for someone who was going to be really good to my children.
Who was going to be good.
That was my first.
And he was good to your children.
Absolutely amazing. Amazing from day
so at
one.
what point did the abuse start?
Once I got pregnant with our first child.
Why do you think it was after you got pregnant?
Because then he knew that he had me.
He owned you.
Yeah, he had me then.
This is serious.
He had me then because I'd vow I would never have children out of wedlock. So I've got 2 children with my first marriage. We weren't married yet, but I'd vowed I'd never get married again. And he knew I had very strong views. So once I got pregnant, that was it.
Wow.
Once I was pregnant with my
And then the abuse started.
Yeah.
And how long did this marriage last?
Oh my God, I think I stayed with him for about 16 years.
16 years you were in this.
I stayed with him for a long time without being married because I decided I would never marry again.
Okay.
And then you got married because
officially.
Yeah.
And then altogether about 16 years.
Yeah, I think we were together for about 16.
And then that one broke as well.
Yeah.
Wow. We're going to take a short break. You've told us about yourself, and I'm sure someone out there is thinking, what kind of woman is this? And then you had a 3rd marriage.
Yes.
And that has lasted 20
years. I've got absolutely...
wow. You're a trophy of God's grace.
I've got an absolutely first-class diamond for a husband. couldn't get better. Impossible.
Wow.
I know for a fact, impossible.
I'm going to be asking you a question as soon as we come back. We'll talk about your third marriage because we don't want to, miss that. But we want to know, why is it that women who are in abusive, when I mean abusive, I'm not saying every marriage is working at something. There's no perfect marriage. But I want to know, why is it that women stay on until something catastrophic happened? In Lagos, Nigeria, last week, a banker was killed in the presence of her 2 kids. And it's been abusive. So we'll get to that. Please don't go away. I'm going to just take a short break. I want to ask you, please go to our website, www.wisdomforwomeninternational.org. You'll find out the many things that we do to support women. Our heart passion is for women. We want women to reach their full potentials in Christ. One of the new things we've started is the Deborah Masterclass, where we teach, where we instruct. And now in this season, we're talking about branding. How can a woman properly brand her organization? Well, men can attend the Deborah Masterclass as well. How can you properly design your brand? And for people who own several things that you're doing, how can you manage multiple brands? For instance, at Wisdom for Women, we have the Wisdom for Women, which is the parent body. We have Wise Women Awards. We have Wise Women Pray. We have the Comfort Home Orphanage. We have now the Deborah Masterclass, and quite a lot of other things that we do. And the church, of course, Triumphant Church International. So how are we able to manage all these brands? God has told me in this season, teach. Let people know how God has helped you to get to where you are. And then some of us want to trademark. How can I do it? I want to demystify all the stuff about trademarks, etc. And one of the things I teach at the Deborah Masterclass is, if you're a speaker, what are the do's and what are the don'ts of speaking, and what can you do to ensure you get invited back to wherever you have spoken at? So please go to our website and check that out, and the Lord will bless you as you do. Thank you so very, very much. We're going to go back to Sister G. This is really interesting. This trophy of grace is blessing us so much. Thank you very much for the boldness to share your story, because sometimes people go through things and they don't want to tell others. They just carry it and take it. But here you are so bold telling us. So talk to me about your third marriage. I know God says he hates divorce. Bible says that, but again, I don't know. Sometimes you want to put yourself and say, what if that girl is my daughter?
That's right.
Would I let someone kill her? Or would I look for reconciliation? I would do something, but one thing I won't do is just let her stay in an abusive marriage. I'll try reconciliation, I'll try everything, but sweetheart, I won't let no man kill my daughter. No. I won't. And you're hearing it in TV, it's public, that's my opinion, really. But
because if you think about it, would God really want, God hates divorce, God hates sin. Period. God, and I think it's unfortunate that the church, what it's done, it's focused a lot on that. God hates divorce. God hates sin.
God
and
does hate sin.
And we should be, if we focus on our word, God hates sin, and beat it as much as we beat God hates divorce, maybe people will be more aware of how they live their lives, right? But God would not, because the Bible talks about being unequally yoked. Now, what does that mean? You say it's an unbeliever and a believer. But if you have a man of God, the Bible says, husbands should love their wives as Christ loved the church. Now, if that man is a man of God and love his wife as Christ loved the church, he will not be beating her and he will not be abusing her.
And the scripture says he will present her without scars.
Exactly. He will not
without spots, without blemishes.
Yes.
You know, men, when we get to heaven, one of the things God is going to do is, I think, he's going to look at our skin and think, any spot, I want to look at it physically as well. Any spot, any blemish, there is no right for any man to beat his wife, or any woman to abuse her husband, because women do it as well. The
Yes.
ratio is higher
Yes,
with
yes.
men doing it to women, but women do also.
Of course.
Women sometimes
Yes,
are
they
abusive.
do.
So please tell me about your third marriage, because that has lasted 20 years.
What can I say? I can just say, oh my God, he's amazing. My husband.
Are you grateful that God restored you?
Yes.
You're
yes,
grateful, because
yes.
not everyone has that opportunity.
But you see, for me, I have no regrets, you see. I'm going to have to say this. I have no regrets because my journey has made me who I am today. And because of who I am, when I work with people, God can use my life and use me effectively
because of
to
your
bring
journey.
restoration to people. I am absolutely amazed when people come and see me, the results. And I don't take credit for it. I say, God has trained me. I've walked the path.
You walked the path. Ezekiel wanted to go and preach a fiery word, and God said, no, go and sit where the captives sit. So God made him sit there for 7 days.
Yes.
So he would understand how they talk, understand the language. And today, here you are at Transformational House,
Yes.
where you work with women who are going through abuse in different capacities. So just talk to us about what the Transformational House is, the role you play, how you've turned your mess
into a message.
So please talk to us about that.
Okay. Transformation, when we work with women, the main focus of the ministry is to work with women that's been sexually abused.
Sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse.
Okay.
But you know, within sexual abuse, there's all form of abuse as well. Physical, emotional, mental, and so forth. I'm just there. People ring up. People come and see me. We've just got a house that's open to whoever wants to come and see us.
You have a home that is open,
Yes.
and you actually house them
Yes.
in your house.
If someone ring me and say, can I come and stay? Yes, they
And
can come and
that's it.
stay. That's it, yeah.
No questions asked.
No.
Are you Christian? Are you not a Christian? No questions.
No, it doesn't
You
matter.
have this.
We're all God's children.
Do you have a kind of program that you run with them? What do you do?
No.
How do you support them?
How do I? Well, usually, and I've got to say, this is not me, because I don't know how it happens, but it genuinely isn't me. I will have someone come and see me, for example. I have people travel from all over the country. And I will spend, if somebody's coming to see me, I always do one-to-one. I never do groups.
One-to-one.
Always has to be. So that person's got my undivided attention. And I will speak to that. By the time they're ready to leave, their life's turned around.
Their lives turn
It's a
around. All they
completely-
need to do is just call you. So you might be listening to this and you're thinking, well, I've held this for a long time. Sometimes people don't want to talk to their pastors.
Yes, I
Because
know.
they feel the shame. They
Yes.
don't want people who know them to know. So that's why I do bring
Yes.
independent people
Yes.
like yourselves to come in, where if you're listening and you can't, you say, well, I don't want to talk to my pastor. I don't want to talk to Pastor Marjorie as well on the TV program. Of course, you have access to me. But you say, I feel comfortable. Sister G has been through that, and I'm going through stuff. I've never told anyone I need help. Then you can go on the Transformational website, Transformational House website, and talk to G. And she's open, she's able to help. Is there a way, have you ever had situations where you've been able to see lives transformed?
Oh my God, yes.
Tell us about one or two, please.
Oh my God, what should I use? Transform
Because
lives.
we want to see transformed lives. We want to hear stories like your own story.
There's been so many, like, what can I give
So
you?
many. Think about just one.
Are you talking about from domestic violence?
Any
Or
violence. Any violence at all. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Any violence
Okay.
at all.
I think one of
Or
the story,
abuse
one of the
of
story,
any
one of the
kind,
story I'll
yeah.
tell you about, actually. One I will tell you, this is quite deep for us. We took in twin girls. Twin girls. The first one came to me, she was 19 and a half.
19
And she was
half.
still being sexually abused and
By
abused
family?
physically by
outside of-
men her mom had raping her.
Men, her mom.
Had raping her, yeah.
Please let me ask that question. Men, her mom brought
Yeah,
to rape her.
yeah, yeah. She'd been raped from she was a little baby, little toddler. And yeah. And then I took her twin sister the following year. Well, the first girl, so I'm going to cut. So when she came to me at 19 and a half, she was still being raped by 8 men every week. And she'd been in care since she was 14. And it was still happening, yeah. So we had to stop it.
So when you took them
So we had
in,
to, yeah.
You now, what do you do when you take them in?
You just take her in. So we took the first
First
one in.
of all, take them in.
And protection.
To a safe
You gotta put
place,
the
protect
protection.
them.
So none of the men could get near her. Her mother couldn't get near her. Nobody could get near her. So we'd take her to work, pick her back, whatever it took, we did it.
Yeah.
But that girl, the first twin, she's now, and then one day I felt in my spirit she should do beauty therapy.
You
I
supported
felt, so I said
her.
to her, you need to go and do beauty therapy. And she said, oh no, not. I said, yes, beauty therapy. She went. She now works at one of the top 5-star spa in the city.
Top 5-star
Top.
spa in the city.
As a senior therapist. And she worked with people like Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce.
Wow.
The top people. You've got to have money
Wow.
to go where she's working now.
Wow. Wow.
That's one. The other twin, still an ongoing process because this thing, but she's just completed her degree in fashion textile.
Did they stay with you through this period?
8
up
years.
to degree?
Yeah.
God
We
bless
supported
you.
the second one for 6 years while she did her degree as well.
God bless you. God bless
This
you.
is like family. You take them in because the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
God bless you.
Do unto others as you have them do unto you.
God
There is no
bless you.
separation. My children are not more precious than those girls.
Let me ask the
Yeah.
last question because time is really not on our side, but this is really good. You know, the church needs to go out. James chapter 3 tells us in verse 13 that if you are wise and you have knowledge and understanding, with humility go out and
Yes.
do good works. So the church is about the community.
It is.
We need to reach out to
It
the
is.
world in practical ways because if Jesus were on earth today, that's what he would
right.
do. Is it possible to work with couples
Yes.
to stop abusing their marriage?
Absolutely
You have
believe
just
it
a
is.
second to answer.
Absolutely.
Is it
I
possible?
believe it is.
With
yeah.
couples, so couples can come
I
as
believe
well.
it is.
Do you counsel them on biblical basis? Or what do you do?
I think
most of
of course, if they're Christian, biblical is the best way.
Is the best
you can't
way.
beat because if you believe in God,
Yeah.
then if you go by the word of God, you will get result.
Yeah.
I
So that
absolutely
is
believe it
possible. So couples
absolutely.
can also contact
Yeah,
you.
if both of them are willing, if both are willing.
Both of them are willing.
If somebody they want and they can't help, there can be issues they can't help themselves because of other issues. Because usually there's a root cause. So you got to find the root cause, work with that, and then work with the couple. If they want to, I absolutely believe it's possible.
Wow, G, thank you so much. Can you just give us your last word for maybe a woman or a couple that are just in the middle of something right now and they've listened to you, they need hope? What last words would you give to them, please?
My gosh, I would say there is always hope.
There's always hope.
Especially if you're a believer, oh my gosh, God would never ever let you down.
He didn't
Don't
let
give
you
up.
down.
He didn't, and honestly, my life is a proper testimony. You don't know the half about me, but it is.
We haven't said half of it.
You don't
We
know,
haven't
but God
said
is
half of it.
gracious and He's faithful.
God bless you. Wow, what a day. Thank you so much, G. Again, we're going, but we want to encourage you to please go to our website, wisdomforwomeninternational.org. And then please be with me next time on Wisdom for Women, where we'll be talking about something else that is very interesting and will uplift your spirit. God bless you. I'm available to take your calls. If you need me to pray with you, you're going through domestic violence, you need a word, you need someone to give you support, practically Wisdom for Women will be there for you. So I'll wait for your calls. The Lord bless you. See you again next time on Wisdom for Women.
Tuning in to Wisdom for Women. If this message has been a blessing to you, Pastor Marjorie would like to hear from you. Please call 0208-800-6001 or email us at admin@wisdomforwomeninternational.org. Please visit our website for more details and other useful resources. God richly bless you.